Hey guys, during today's EdTech Byte video, I'm going to show you how you can use buttons within your Canvas classroom to help streamline work for your students. If your students are getting lost or having difficulty navigating your Canvas course, this is going to be a great thing for you. So first I'm going to scroll down, and this is my favorite feature right here, my daily buttons. Okay, each of these buttons was created using clip art that I purchased from Etsy. You don't have to do that though. You can 100% make it free, easy, all within Google Drawings. So if you would like to use digital clip art to help you create your buttons and have a more realistic feel to it, that's totally fine. What I did, and I'm not advertising for any particular one, I just went to Etsy and I searched for digital clip art. I did have a theme in mind, and so I plugged that in. But as you can see, there are a lot of different collections that would appeal to a lot of different teachers and their students. Then we're just going to come back to Google Drawings. Now, Mrs. Funkhauser had sent out a template during the summer for ways that you could also create buttons and different graphics within your Canvas course. That's all I used. I downloaded the clip art that I wanted, or I had some already, and then I just used Google Drawings. So when you set up your buttons, if you are doing just individual buttons, my advice would be under page setup would be to set it to 500 by 500 pixels. This will allow you to use a high quality resolution image and then be able to condense it down and still maintain that high res. Okay? So once you've set that up, it's going to give you a blank template. Now this gray and white checkerboard, that's your friend. That means that your background is transparent, which is what you want. If you find that you've been snipping over or screenshotting different things, what you're doing is also taking the white background with it. And then you might get buttons that are not sized the way you want, or they might be shifting. And that's because there is a background to it. This way, everything can be uniform and consistent. I used insert image and just uploaded my clip art elements into this right here. Okay, I actually have a watercolor splotch and then 2 floral elements. The text right here was created just within Google Drawings. When you have it the way you want it, I suggest saving each button individually, and then pro tip, just make a copy of what you already did so that you have things ready for your next button. Then you're going to go over to File, and you'll want to select Download, and the most important thing, download it as a PNG. That will retain your transparent background and it'll save on some space. You'll download it as a PNG and you'll come back over to your Canvas, and that's where you're going to upload it. So you can hit Edit, and then plugging them in. A lot of people have had questions regarding getting their buttons to stay consistent, or maybe they've shifted a bit. The best advice that I saw and that I've used, it's worked great for me, is to create a table, okay, right here. And you'll just, as you can see, I have one row with 5 days, okay? I made that, and on your table properties, you can hide the bars or the grid lines of the table, or you can just make it white, whatever works for you. And then you'll insert into each box, embed image, go over to Canvas, My Files, and I made a folder titled Canvas Graphics so that I could keep them all in the same place. You just select the button that you want, and then remember how I told you to set it to 500 by 500 pixels? Well, if you did that here in Canvas, that's going to be an awfully big button. We can scale it down a bit. So you'll want to keep it still relatively square. So I opted for 200 by 200 for the perfect size. But because it was originally created at 500, it allows the quality to transfer as well. And so it's not as blurry. I'm going to close out of that. And then while we're here, I also want to show you what else I did with buttons. Because I'm a virtual teacher, there are some elements of my classroom that I don't want to be lost, like a word wall, for instance. So I found a digital way to include a word wall. But how do I get my kids there? Well, I created a button that's hyperlinked to that page. Each one of these, it's just a graphic. Okay, I created the graphic all the same way. You create your graphic and then you hyperlink it. So we've talked about hyperlinking in a couple of different avenues, especially with the Bitmoji classroom back in spring. And you can use this over here, your navigation tool, or you can have your other Canvas page open, copy the URL, and then you would just link to URL and update the link. And that's all there is to it. These are just hyperlinked to a different destination. The weekly buttons, I will admit, take a little bit more work because I do update the links weekly as my agendas change. If you have any questions on creating a button or you need additional resources, please reach out to me. I'm practically attached to my computer. My email is Alysha, ALYSHA, .more@communityisd.org. I hope you found it helpful. Thanks.